Wanted to start working on the indicator pods this week, and I'm in the plastics industry, so I just wanted to take a stab at playing around with these things to see if I could get something to work. It'd probably be best 3D printed, but I knew I could fabricate something, and I only need two of these things, so I thought I'd give it a whirl. So, anyways, I just started fabricating, bought some stuff, materials, and started using the acrylic so I could just glue it together and fabricate something. And so this is kind of what I came up with, and we'll see how it works. I think you get the idea. All right, I just kind of stuck it together, the pieces I've created here. You can just see a hint of it in there. I've got some tinted colors, to basically layer up or put in there. And some translucent. And then I've got this. You can see it's like a tinted acrylic as well. So now you got to ignore all this what do you call it, protective cover on the plastic. This stuff here, that'll all come off. So this will be all black. You see in around all this stuff here, it's all going to be black. So the idea is that's the way it would look. Now I know that doesn't look like much, but keep in mind this is going to be all black in here, so you won't see any of that. Then when you hit the light, you can see it. I've just stuck a black piece of vinyl across there just to get a sense of it. And ignore the kind of gaps. I'm just trying to see if I'm even close to getting anything. Because the idea is when it's off, I don't want to see any hint of it. And that's how it looks on the real one. It looks like I got it. So what this ended up consisting of was just a few things here. Is the diffuser. So I think it's just a 30% tint on acrylic, clear acrylic, and these are just made up of black acrylic. And we've got a 10 millimeter LED. I just use that to kind of keep things wider. And then each of these, this is all made up of acrylic. I just got to take all the peel and stick off. But then I've got for diffusing the light, because there's too much light coming through, and if I don't have something diffusing the backside of where the bulb's shining through, you get too much light. So what I did is I've got a piece of it's white acrylic, but it's 30% translucent, so it really diffuses the light. So the light doesn't come out in one big blotch in the center. It's kind of diffused by this white, and I just stuck the tinted mylar to it in order to get the color. So I got a bunch of different colors for the 4 different. I noticed each one's a different color, so I'm gonna do that. So now I've got to just make up the graphics to stick onto these and glue this all together. Some graphics online, cut them on the Cricut onto here. Now peeling those things out of there is pretty intricate. On the end of this thing is actually a piece. There. I gotta stick that on there. There you got them. Not bad. You'll never see them this close in the car. And I swapped out for more of what I needed, but works. So we got to make the front of the indicator pods now. Never used that clear with the darkened, I think it's 30% shaded acrylic. I got to make the front faces. So I've cut out a couple of pieces. Now I just got to bevel, or put a little bevel and polish the edges. File. I just go across the grain from what I just did, and that way you can see how when you can take out the marks from the sanding. And you know you're there. .320. Buffing wheel. As slow as she'll go. It just heats it up as it goes and basically buffs it up by the heat generator. Yeah, look at that. You ever wonder when you get those Dremel kits what everything's used for? You know, you got things like stainless polishing and cut-off discs, of course, right? We know what those kind of things are. And then you get plastic cleaning wheels. But I actually used one of these. Don't know what it's called. Called it a buffing wheel. But eventually you do end up using all the stuff. So next we needed to put holes for the back to mount the clip for the LED, and I just kept drilling away at it just to get it nice and snug so that the holder for the LED would snap in nice and snug. Next we have to glue up the back, and I've flushed the back off, just sanded it flat and flat filed it, and I'm just putting the glue on the back side of it and onto the backing plate that we just drilled out. Glue starts setting up pretty good. Just wiggle it around to kind of help it find its way to flatten it out. I'll clamp it up like this for a couple of days, just leave it, and it should set up fine. So next we got to do that front facing that's on the indicator pods. And to me it looks like it's sandblasted. It's got a texture to it, and they've obviously done that in the injection mold, and we're not injective molding this part. So I have to figure out how to replicate that. My guess is a sandblast would probably do it. So I scoured the internet trying to find what course and texture and what might do it best, and ended up picking the cheapest I could find on Amazon. So we're going to try these two and see if we can get close. After a couple of test patches, just with the sand that's in there, which is, I don't know what, but anyways, if I use what's left in there and go about 6 inches away, that's what I end up with, and that's not bad. If I go close, and it's only at about 25 pounds right now. If I go close, this gets too dense. You can't actually see behind it very well, right? So it's going to blur, which I knew it was going to do anyways, but that's not a bad texture there. I think I'll just go for that. And use whatever's in there, whatever that is. Well, whatever medium's in there's no longer in there. It's empty. So I put the glass beads in there. Go, hope for the best. Somewhere out there in that cold, the camera died. So anyways, back in here, grabbed the new GoPro 10. So that's what I ended up using right there. And it's just, you know, it worked okay. I started off, you can see over on the far right was the stuff that was in there. I think it was just regular sand from wherever. Then I went to the glass bead there in the middle. And then when I went a little closer, you can see how it got too dark. So I just took the middle kind of shot is what I was going for. And stand far away. And there we go. Didn't even use that one. But then after that, I just tested it with this. Yeah, it looks good. I still got to clean up. There's still stuff on it. But that's what the pieces turned out like. I don't know. I think it's going to work. It looks pretty close. I'm going to go clean them up and then see how they look. Okay, see, it turned out really good. I think that's exactly what we're looking for. You can see what it looks like up against there. Kind of hard to compare the texture to, you know, what you'll see on the shots that I got of the real parts. But well, I think we'll be able to see it in behind, and when you compare it to, it just takes the shine off it. Here's where I sandblasted, did the testing. Here's where it's not done anything. It's clear. And you can see it's just, all it's going to do is basically take these reflections that you see here and just dull it down a bit. So I think it's going to work good. Right, not exactly sure how I'm going to do this. I have nothing big enough to clamp this. I figure I'm just gonna lay them down and glue them up and hope for the best. Start like this, I think. Square it up by eye. That's pretty good. I think I'll just lay a little bead in there. Just knocked it. What I didn't want to do. I was checking this glue after it dries. It doesn't seem to do anything to it, so just best leave it alone. Next, we just gotta take off the extra on here. Notice this thing's going this direction, so I don't want it yanking this off, so I'm gonna go this way. Just do it by hand. Just tape out the back so I don't get anything in there. There you go, you're sitting about as far away as I would be in the car. I got, as you can see, I got that one on there. You can see it. At least I can. I don't know if you guys can see it very well. And you can see a hint of the colors in all the other ones. But I got a bit of light coming in from, you know, what would natural light from the window over here, which would happen in the car too. So with the blacking around it, and the bezel and everything else, it'd probably block a bit more light. So that's what I'm hoping. And yes, I did get a little blemish right there. Glue was on the bench there when I was sticking it down. Anyways. So there you go. That I think is ready to go. It's good enough for me right now, and hopefully Mav still comes up with some or has somebody create something that's a little more authentic. But for now, at least I can put it back in there and it's kind of close. And when Mav does come up with something that's better, I can slot it in there. I use the same dimensions that he gave me from the template that he had. So I know once he gets something built, it should slot in there, but to rebuild the faceplate's not a big deal. And that's what I got to get at next, is the instrument pod in there has to come out. I got a big change going from the instruments that I have in there to what it is now. Is the Speedo is a mechanical in there now, and I have to use a Hall effect sensor on the new Speedo. So I got to figure out how to do that, and to get to that, I got to pull that all out. Before I can pull it all out, I have to do maintenance on the car. I haven't done it yet, so I got to do that first before I disconnect everything, and that's going to be on the next video. So anyways, if you like this one, make sure you subscribe for me and hit that like button. I do read all the comments. So if you're interested in this industry, where to find cars, where to build a kit, any questions you got, I'm happy to answer them. I do read all the comments, guys. So thanks a lot. See ya.